The
The
broadcast.
broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey, there we go.
There we are.
Well, good. At least Miss Massaro got her name on the screen this year.
Mm-hmm.
She's moving up. She's moving up. Hi, everybody. We'll start in about a minute or two. We got people flooding on here. We have 169 participants who signed up. Is that right, Roger and Gene?
I thought it was. Well, I looked.
Yeah, upwards of that even.
It was around
Signed
200, right around 200 when I looked.
Wow, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
They must think I've got something really important to say. Of course, I always do in my own mind. You know,
Yeah, and you're right. They are coming quickly.
they're coming quickly. They're coming
Yeah.
fast, furious.
Yeah.
We'll go at 7:02 or 3, and then we'll go
Okay.
good. Well, it's good to see a lot of our new staff is on here as I scroll through the names of people. It's great to see. Well, there's some seasoned staff as well as some new staff. Seasoned, new. That's good. Oh, let's see. Oh, there's a returning staff member. It's good to see that person. I don't know. Scrolling through here. Roger and Gene, how are you?
Doing well.
And I'm doing well as well. I'm doing well as well.
All right.
So everything.
Roger, are you moving? Did I hear you were moving?
Yes, we are.
I heard
Moving
that
south. We're going south.
Are you really?
Yeah, Grand Island.
Oh.
Okay. I don't know if he's on here, but one time when my kids were little, took them to the Grand Island Holiday Inn, and my son said, "Is it going to be warmer there?" I said, "Yes, we're moving closer to the equator." We went swimming at the Grand Island Holiday Inn. He turned out to be a teacher.
Well,
Not a history teacher either, I can tell you that.
he understood the process, though.
He did.
Yeah.
You're going to Grand Island, huh, Raj?
Yep.
Heard that at the barber shop.
Oh, really?
Well, I like to say I heard it at the salon.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
Really?
There you
Oh,
go.
that's
Yeah,
interesting.
where they spend 18 minutes on my hair.
Yeah. Every time I go,
On-
it's another minute
on one
shorter.
hair?
Yeah.
I want hair. Did you say I want hair? I tell them to just keep me in the chair longer to make it feel like it.
Yeah.
And you know my famous line, grass doesn't grow on a busy street. So,
There you go.
all right, let's get started then. Thank you very much, Roger and Gene. Of course, there's my son who probably heard the joke about going to the Grand Island Holiday Inn, but he said, "Let's get going and cut the chatter." Well, welcome back, everybody. Thank you, Roger and Gene, for organizing this. I thought what we would do, and I'm glad there's going to be upwards of maybe 200 people, and I know people listen to this the next day. I thought that we would do an opening school, maybe a mid-year one in after the holidays in January, and then one in May, unless there is some particular reason why we need to come back and address the whole group. But I'm glad there's a lot of people interested and signed up, and people who will listen to it tomorrow or throughout the week. So let me say welcome back. The lineup is in front of you. We'll have Mr. Graneri following me with some technology updates, and he's got a full sheet of paper. Then we'll go down the line to Mr. Corella, who is also with us, and he's got a few updates. And then, of course, to keep us all in line and to keep sanity in the room, Ms. Massaro will back clean up and give up any updates or information that she needs to share with respect to human resources, training, anything that's upcoming with the calendar, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So welcome back, everybody. Good start. Thank you very much. I don't know where summer went. It was a very, very fast summer. I need to tell you that while we have 107 people on here, we have the largest staff that I can recall since I really paid attention since I've been in central office. 1,452 staff members, 1,452. And as I walk through the schools, and I've had now a chance to visit every school, and I'm on my second tour of duty, Calfus today for my second tour. It's great to see so many adults in the building. We're well staffed. We're well equipped to handle our just under 7,000 students. So welcome back, everybody. I would ask you for just a little bit of patience as we move through our 8th day of school. We're already 8 days into this year. I know on the elementary level, we are implementing a new schedule. And again, anytime you do something new, it comes with growing pains. It comes with bumps and bruises and pebbles in your shoe. And we'll work through the bumps and bruises and get them out. For the most part, we're in pretty good shape. But as anything that changes, it takes a few days, a few weeks before we get everything worked out. So please be patient. Please indulge us. We will always do our best to make things right. The second issue that is without a doubt probably the elephant in the room that has continued to be a problem is transportation. It is really a function of what I think, well, I said we had the largest staff in the district. I think it's an all-time low in terms of bus drivers at both bus companies, both First Student, which transports our out-of-district students, and at Niagara Falls Coach Lines, who today I think had fewer than 30 drivers available, fewer than 30, and we need 80. And thank God we have that staggered schedule, which I'm not going to get into, but I think you all know what we're talking about. Fewer than 30. And you have to remember that we have so many medically fragile children and special needs children who often ride on a bus with 1 or 2 other children. That takes up a whole driver. Those children are entitled to have their own bus and entitled to have their own driver. But when I tell you that we have 30 bus drivers, we may have 6 or 7 just dedicated to medically fragile children. That certainly leaves too few drivers to pick up the general population. And I am well aware of it, certainly not happy about it, and have kind of a plan B in mind. If this doesn't get any better, that certainly doesn't involve any type of work with changing of schedules or times. It results in calling in some reinforcements for drivers. So that will remain to be seen, but I do want to acknowledge everybody's patience. I know kids come late. They're not really tardy. They do come late because the buses drop them off late, both at high school, Kalfas, and Abbott. Today, that was the case. And oftentimes, elementary schools are waiting for buses to come at 3:20. So I recognize that it is one of the areas that has not been off to a great start, but I want to acknowledge it and tell you that we'll continue to work on it. Otherwise, the schools look good. The maintenance staff, custodial staff did a super good job across the district. Some schools in particular, I don't want to start calling them out, look better than I've ever seen them, and in terms of cleaning and you know, just being in top shape. Most schools are really looking good, both inside and outside. And as the principals know, I'm a real stickler, as should be, for curbside appeal. That always is having an appropriate American flag that's in good shape, having our signs being up to date, having all the papers and garbage picked up. That's always really important. So thank you very much for the opening of school. We had a couple of questions I'll address right now. First is COVID protocols. Do know that COVID is kind of going around a little bit. I've heard a few cases of people. The way I'm going to address this is by telling you it's your own personal responsibility. We do not need to report it. We do not need to have you tested for it, test to stay. If you're not feeling well and you test positive for COVID, that's between you and your medical professional. If you don't feel well enough, you probably won't to come to school, please don't. If you do, we ask you, and it's always okay for you to wear a mask anytime, anywhere. It's always okay for students to wear masks too, and no one should be making comment or asking questions about that. That's your own personal choice. So I'd ask you to practice the universal safety precautions we've all learned very well. There are no set protocols for reporting, testing, test to stay. Please use your own personal best thinking of being safe for yourself and safe for others. And as you return, I think the best guidance we have is that you should, if you are returning and feeling better, you should wear a mask for a couple of days. Of course, there's no mandate for that, but I believe it's up to 5 days. So that is in response to a question about COVID. We are expecting a shipment of about 3,500 tests. And when we do receive those, we'll make sure we get them out to the school clinics. And if need be, we'll have another hour and a half drive up day in central office where people can come and pick them up if they want to just have them in their homes. What I don't want is for those COVID tests to sit in our warehouse. That's the worst place for those tests to sit, in our warehouse. We do have a small quantity of them down there, but I don't want them sitting there. I want them out in schools, and if we have a need, we'll have a distribution day so that the community can come by and pick them up. Somebody asked me about clothes closets. Really proud of our, well, it started through our McKinney-Vento program. McKinney-Vento is synonymous with homeless students. Unfortunately, we do have a number of homeless students in the district, and they're governed under the McKinney-Vento Act, so that you know what that parlance is. We have been able to provide a clothes closet in, I think, almost every school. Couple of people have been really instrumental in that. Bhavna Chowdhury, Sharita Flournoy, Stacy Rowe, they've been really great, really putting those out to be professional clothes closets. They exist everywhere. I was at the CEC today and saw the back stock of clothes and other things that Stacy has been able to put together, and we appreciate her steadfast work on doing that. Last week I had a chance to go to Feed More, which has provided a lot of food for our food pantries, which is just another service that we provide for our students, and our students need that, as you very well know. Just as a point of reference, while we have increased our ENL, ESL staff to, I think, 12, looking at Ms. Massaro, she's kind of nodding yes, 12, I remember just maybe 8 years ago when it was 3, we have not received any migrant students. I get that question frequently about, because it's in the news so much in Erie County. I know Cheektowaga and Maryville school districts have had migrant students come to their area. We don't have any of the migrant students here. That doesn't mean we don't have English as new language or second language speakers. We are trying to give the most and the best service. That's why we have our 12 of the best ENL teachers we could find working for us to really help our students. But we don't have the migrant students coming. Again, I'm pinballing here. There are no remote days built into the school calendar. No remote days. That doesn't mean that if, God forbid, we have a horrendous winter, which I'm predicting we won't, that we may need to call for a remote day. And we'll need some advance notice to you to do that. We do have snow days built in the calendar and give back days built in the calendar. But if we do, for some terrible winter reason, have to go to that, it's really incumbent upon all of the teaching staff to make sure you have, I think Mr. Graneri would say, coined your computers, checked in, used them. You should be using your classroom sets of laptops, etc., probably on a weekly, if not daily basis, as part of your arsenal of work to help students learn and to prepare them for the future. So please, please, please make sure that you have your carts and laptops up to date and in good shape. Take a few minutes to check that out. Make sure that you're using them. Make sure you've cached them all in. I know I was around last week, saw a lot of NWEA testing going on. Make sure you've cached all your computers in. And again, we can't just call a remote day without a little bit of advance notice, because so many of our elementary students rely on them signing the computer out from school, but they're not built into the calendar. What we do have in the calendar are voting days, where the first one coming up is November 7th. That's an election day. We'll have for the staff who's in the buildings for staff development, we'll have safety officers, Evolve, and uniformed police in those voting areas, but there are no remote days. I want to jump to a curricular issue, and if Mr. Corella feels he needs to punctuate me on this, he can. He has spent a lot of time with training around Wilson language. I want to talk about the science of reading here. In New York State, across New York State, there is a tremendous push at the legislative level, which hasn't really come to fruition. There's been a lot of conjecture around the school district, city, about the fact that we don't teach phonics, which we do, which especially our great K1 and 2 teachers do, and it is part of our 3 through 5 curriculum. I want to make sure that everybody knows that the expectation is that you follow the district board-approved protocols and the board-approved resources. Foundations is your basic phonics program, and I know Rick could say that more eloquently than I, and he monitors and works on this very closely. And if you watch our board meetings, I always ask him to talk about this, because we do get a lot of subscription and a lot of people across the state watching our board meetings to monitor us for the teaching of phonics, which is critically important to a child's development, critically important in conversations across the state with the science of reading. And we do have that in our district protocols. So foundations, and I know Rick could speak again much more eloquently than I about double dose, Wilson language, Orton Gillingham, etc. Please be very familiar with those programs that the district has subscribed to. Let's switch from curriculum to safety. We are going to have an active shooter drill at Niagara Falls High School in October. It's going to be on Friday the 20th. I think that's the half day for students. We will have some students participate. It's going to be at Niagara Falls High School. Chief Del Porto has arranged for all of the agencies, the police agencies and first responders, to be in attendance so we can go through a full-scale active shooter drill. And when I say God forbid we ever have to, but if we have to, we want to make sure we're prepared. I was speaking to Deputy Chief Mike Lee today, and he was talking about the great number of new police officers that the force has in the city, and how many of them are not as familiar with our schools. And we're going to do something to make sure that especially the new officers, get a chance to walk our schools at night and be very familiar. I'm pleased that we have a rotating or a floating police officer in elementary. I have seen Police Officer Lee as I've gone through the elementary schools. I'm sure you've seen her too. That's been very helpful. Received notice today that we're very close to having building permits to do our capital projects. What does that mean? Our secured vestibules are in that project, along with the first floor, inclusive of the Niagara Falls High School Library window film, the bullet-resistant window film that we will be adding during the course of this year, as well as secured vestibules. And we've worked very hard to get what I'm going to call nuisance alarms wired to every one of our 224 doors. That's all part of the project that you're going to see begin to occur during this school year. In addition, in that capital projects package that we're very close to getting building permits on, will be the installation of air conditioning at Gaskill and LaSalle Prep. I don't think you'll see any of that movement until the spring or summer of next year. So sorry. First of all, thanks to the Gaskill and LaSalle Prep staff. I know how warm it was when we opened school, but it's coming. I know you could tell me so is Christmas, but the air conditioning is coming. So please know that that is moving forward. I see through my emails, because I'm copied from the principals, drills have started, shelter in place, and I see a couple of evacuation drills where schools are going to their evacuation sites. Please make sure that you have practiced everything. Make sure that you have taken the time to review everything once, twice, 5 times with your class, so that we can be safe at all points. Mr. Graneri, who's up next, is going to hopefully he'll give you a little bit of a status update on where we are with the ClearTouch boards. I know I've seen them in 3 of the schools. LaSalle has started and the training is beginning this weekend, this Saturday. So thank you to those at LaSalle Prep. Remember, you need to go through training before you get your ClearTouch board. I think you'll enjoy the training and the board. I'm seeing it actively being used at Abbott Gaskill and Kelvis. So thank you, and we will go through the district, hopefully getting through it around Christmas time until all classrooms get their mobile ClearTouch boards. And we will then be removing and replacing your old boards with a whiteboard. So don't fret, there will be a whiteboard coming behind that, but he'll get more into that. Just interestingly, and I just want to share this with you because I want you to know that we are constantly looking to level up or scaffold up. I don't know if that's the correct term for safety and security, but Chief Del Porto, Mr. Granieri, and I had we had a vendor speak to us, the same vendor that we use for our weapons detection, today showing us a new product that can, through our camera system, sense if anybody has a weapon outside of our schools or does get through the Evolve system. It's a secondary look. We know some of these complete criminal idiots who bring guns out and do terrible things often are doing things in parking lots, and the newest artificial intelligence technology that we're looking at identifies somebody who has a weapon and they're coming out of their car. So we are exploring that and hope to have an update by mid-year for you on that purchase of software to accompany our cameras. I cannot stress to you enough how frequently phishing occurs, and I'm not talking about the rod and reel variety. I'm talking about the technology. Every time I ask Ray, it's a different group of people that are being attacked, whether it's the finance office, maintenance, human resources. Please, please never give any personally identifiable information away. I have till October 1st to certify back on safety, the safety plans, and the fact that you have gone through your 6 modules, please. And I know for our non-instructional staff, there are particular days that they're going to occur. Please make sure you've done your 6 modules. I will self-report that I did well on 5 of the 6. I will put this on record. Education Law 2D continues to haunt me. I failed it twice. I get 3. Well, first time I got 3 wrong. Second time I got 4 wrong. The third time through, I tried to write the answers down, and I squeaked by with only 2 wrong. So it's not easy, but please make sure you watch those modules and that you attend to the culminating tests, as well as the acceptable use policy that Mr. Granieri put out today. Please read it, listen to it, think about it, make sure that you're aware of it. Back to kind of I know I'm really pinballing here, but just want to remind our teaching staff that one of the most powerful tools that you own and one of the most important things that you do is to communicate with parents. I know we've got parent conference hours coming up at certain points that you establish, but it certainly is always a good practice to contact parents if students are not in attendance, students are not doing their work, whatever you need to do. And please, it always helps when you document those conversations. I would strongly suggest that you do that. I know that in grades 7 through 12, there will be no more paper report cards. I saw just in passing a Gaskill advertisement for parent portal sign up. It's something that we're going to really have to push both at prep school. High school did pretty well with it last year, but no more paper report cards, and just a little bit of foreshadowing. That means something that's coming up in the future. We're going to move that way in the elementary at some point. So I have just pinballed around. I've hit a lot of topics. I've said, welcome back, asked for your patience. Thank you for your work. Hit a lot of, just a lot of perfunctory topics, and trying not to be too loquacious here, but I will now turn it over to Mr. Granieri, who has a laundry list of technology updates for you.
Thank you. I'd like to start with the interactive boards. It's really three components that are driving this. The training, the builds, and the IT component of it. The training is just first class. Our instructional technology integrators, Ed Maynard, Dave St. Ange, plus some other staff, and BOCES went through a rigorous certified training over the summer. So they're certified to training any components anywhere for ClearTouch, and it's really first class. I'm thankful for the maintenance department assisting with all the builds and all the coordination of dumpsters, all this capital projects kind of work to get these boards in place. The IT as technology will be is always fluid. And I can share with you that we meet as a group here at the district with our reseller, the ClearTouch manufacturers, ClearTouch administration weekly, Tuesday at 10 o'clock. And we're constantly tweaking what they call an OTA. It's an over-the-air update, similar to Microsoft. You turn your computer on Tuesday anytime, the update happens and it installs some point during the day. So we are constantly now, and it'll start to lessen, but we're learning from each other some of the idiosyncrasies that we have with our network and how we do business. ClearTouch is learning from us, making their product better. So I know we're having a little ups and downs currently with the first three rollouts, but please know we work on we meet on that weekly basis, share information, and it'll only get better. As the superintendent mentions, we're good at Abbott, Gaskill, and Kalfas. LaSalle builds and the training builds and some small other builds will be complete tomorrow. Thank you to Kathy Urban and Roland Davis. They have volunteered LaSalle Prep Schools to be the training hub for Saturday training sessions that will happen through the rest of the year as we go through our builds and installs. High Park is up next after LaSalle Prep, followed by Cataract, and we'll kind of work our way through the district. We, as a technology committee, has been looking. I've been around for 25 years on technology committee, and for the past 15 years, we've been trying to find the elusive learning management system, piloting stuff, testing stuff, and I'm thankful for the technology committee because we've really paused, not jumped into the fray of some of these learning management systems, piloted a few. Currently this year, Dave and Ed are kind of leading two pilots. One is Canvas and one is Schoology. We are all optimistic that Schoology, who is now a full-fledged partner with PowerSchool, that this could be our answer. It's going very well. So again, we're looking. I think we're in a good spot with that. Classroom devices. We are ready to do a refresh at the elementary level. We paused for a lot of good reasons, mainly because how staff and teachers and IS department are managing laptops. We didn't need to pull the trigger for another refresh. We were in a good spot. But we are probably late this school year or to start next school year. We're going to refresh at some elementary schools. It may not be our proven Lenovo product. We're looking around. The technology committee is doing classic road shows. We're just going to take a stronger look to see if there's a better product for us. We're all excited about a pre-K to 2 pilot for Apple products. We just have to get in a spot where we have reasonable resources to make sure this goes off well, because this is really a new environment for everybody. One update I have, which is just going to be cumbersome, I'm just going to say it. We are mandated to get into second factor access for systems for a million different reasons why that I could bore you with. But we're all doing it now, kind of. I'm sure with the bank, you want to log on, you have to get a text or something or some sort of second factor to make sure you're the person you really are. And before it was suggested, encouraged, and now there's just no choice. So we're going to pilot this. We're going to start here at central office. We're going to make sure the scheme and the configuration is set so it's appropriate at all different levels. Once we're good there, we'll move to non-instructional staff at schools. Again, improve, get better. And then lastly, we'll complete the entire district by hitting all instructional staff. And again, I appreciate your patience and help because it's just going to be another piece, but we really don't have any choice. And lastly, I'd like to just mention the technology committee. It's one of the best working committees that I've ever been on. It's just a great representation of the entire district. And really it's designed to take a look at what technology is coming into the district, its appropriate measures, all these, it's a template of things that has been developed over years that really the conclusion comes is, are we going to do this? Do we have the necessary resources? There's no redundant, all these different things. So if there is something out there that we don't have, and we have tons, but if it's something that we don't have, please enter a technology request. The form that we're using is being tweaked to be a little bit more user-friendly, but it's online. The 3 representatives are at the elementary schools, Angela Manella. At the prep school, it is John Briglio, and at the high school, it is now Brian Rotella. That's your resources to get the technology request into the technology committee. And I just ask for patience because we just have a lot. And again, it's a means to introduce technology in the most responsible manner.
So I want to just punctuate one thing. Ray mentioned central office is starting with this. This is multi-factor passwords, authentication. So what that means is, this is in my parlance, again, using that word, that is 2 passwords to get into a system. Is that right?
Yeah, we're going to start with Outlook and Teams.
Outlook and Teams, okay. So everybody knows all of my passwords. My password's Patty Felton 16 and Patty Felton 17. So I used to announce it, but she was my secretary, and I have since changed that. But that means that's coming. And again, it's all in reference to protection and how we have been very good stewards of staying on the information highway, as we've talked about. I think we've been pretty good with that. I haven't heard many problems, and I thank everybody. But now we're going to the multi-factored authentication. We'll do it here, and just be aware it's coming. We need to do it. We actually are a little bit behind the curve on this, but we are going to get that started. Now for some salient curriculum and instruction points.
Good evening, everyone. I just have a couple of quick reminders. First off, as I think everyone knows, we have and continue to get many new staff members in the district, in particular instructional staff members, teachers, and counselors and social workers. We have a lot of new staff in our schools. So I wanted to put in a little plug this evening for this year's edition, the 23-24 new teacher and novice teacher academies and support groups. Last year, we had 34 elementary teachers that worked with us once a month throughout the year. We're going to be continuing that. So those folks and our brand new first year teachers will be getting an invitation within the next 24 hours. We're going to start next week on the 26th here in central office at 3:45. So please know that we're going to be surveying staff and doing several different activities, but we will be supporting not only teachers in their first year, but teachers in their second and third year. It will look a little bit different at the prep and high school level, but information on those will be released very shortly. So if you are a teacher in that category, please look for some communication and check your email over the next couple of days. My only other update at this point is in regard to foundations, our phonics program for grades K1 and 2 that Mr. Laurie talked about. We all know that it is taught during our skills block, 30 minutes every day. I do want to let our K1 and 2 teachers know that we have updated access to the Wilson Language Academy, which is the online resource hub for foundations. So on that site is information about the program, short instructional videos. If you want to know more about a particular part of the lesson or teaching a particular skill, there are short snippets of professional development that are available there. There are resources, information, and also the tile that launches FunHub, which came along with the pandemic, and a lot of our teachers have continued to use. So that is all on the Wilson Language site. We purchased updated access for this school year. So in most cases, if you have had access in the past, you will need to get an updated link to do that. So over the summer, we had several refresher and launch trainings, and everyone who attended one of those sessions received a personal email from me with the updated link to sign in to the site. If you did not get a chance to partake in any of the training this summer and you need access to Foundations, please email me. I'm managing that personally, and I will send you the link. And I believe that is all that's on my list for tonight.
Excellent, thank you. And now for some scintillating human resources updates. Ms. Massar, would you take us through important reminders, notes, and news?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Roy. And hello, everybody. Welcome back, and welcome to those of you who are new staff. I think I've met most of you. Mr. Laurie, when he gave his comments, alluded to some trainings that we need the entire staff to complete. Those are, we call them vector trainings, but what they really are state mandated safety trainings and trainings on discrimination, civil rights, and harassment. So those all have to be completed. Many of you have done so, and I thank you for doing that. We do get electronic reports of those who have not completed their vector trainings. So for those of you who have not had the opportunity to do so, in the end of the week, once we close the first round of the training, you'll be getting a personal email from me. I'm asking that you please open that email and then continue on with your trainings, because we do have to have everyone in the district trained by October 15th. So we will be doing the maintenance department next week, and we will also be meeting with the TAL unit, the Teacher Associates unit. We will be meeting with you in person here at Central Office, and we'll be going through the training with you. All other staff members should and do have the capability of completing this work at your desks at a designated time. So please do so, but otherwise I will be reaching out to you if you have not done so close to October. In talking about some things that impact just our NFT staff, for those of you who are listening, I know you may be wondering when your salary differentials will be paid. The salary differential forms were due on September 8th. It's our goal to have them paid to you by the second payroll in October. We are very pleased every year that more and more people reach the or do participate in getting salary differentials. So when that happens, we do have to have the ability to process them, verify them, and go through them. So we appreciate your patience, but our goal is to have them out to you by the second payroll in October. Speaking of the second payroll in October, those of you who are veteran staff members know that once a year, representatives from the Human Resources Office meet you in your schools and have you sign off on a few things for us. You sign off on your address verifications, you sign off on your assignment letter, which contains your salary and your benefit information, the 403B notification, which gives you information on how to sign up for a 403B account, and other annual notifications that we're responsible for providing to you. We are planning to have this also coincide with that second payroll in October. If that changes, we will let you know. What won't change is the salary differential pay. What may change is the date that we come out and see you at the schools. The other thing is, I want to talk a little bit about attendance, because this is just a good time to refresh everybody with attendance. So everybody in the district, except for per diem substitutes, so except for per diem building-based substitutes and per diem building-based associates, everybody else in the district has two things. You have email, and in order to access that email, you have to sign your acceptable use policy, and you have frontline ASAP access. So with those two things, you are required to put in your absences into the system. And you have to do this prior to the absence and prior to a certain time before you come to work. If you try to do it after that time, two things will happen. The first thing that'll happen is if you enter it in, it'll automatically put you on the next day. You have to contact me to put you in for the appropriate time, and I will put you in, but I can only do that one time. After the next times when we do that, we do end up having to dock you pay for that. But I want you to know that that's not if there's an emergency, if you're in the hospital, if you have to take a family member to a hospital. That's just for certain of people who are probably not on the webinar tonight, who consistently refuse to use the frontline system. You really have to. I want to talk to you about cancer screenings. So everybody in the district is entitled to the half-day or the 4-hour cancer screening. When you have a cancer screening, you have to put yourself out sick for the half day that you'll be using it. Then after or when you go to your appointment, you have your provider sign off on the fact that you were there. You come back, you provide that to me by sending it to me in Human Resources, and I will go in and credit you the cancer screening time. You can't just send in the form and expect to get credited for the cancer screening, because your school or your supervisor will not know that you're absent, because we don't put the absence in for cancer screening until after the fact. So you're required to put yourself out sick for the day. The same thing goes for jury duty. If you get jury duty, there is a way for you to put in jury duty into the system yourself. So you put that in, you put in jury duty, and then please send me your summons. And then what that summons will do is I will verify the fact that you had your jury duty, and you'll have already put it into the ASAP system. There's a big question that comes out. There's a lot of our folks are going for jury duty now. The big question is, do I get paid for jury duty? And the answer to that question is yes, you get your full pay for jury duty. So two things that go along with that is you can answer your juror questionnaire that yes, you get paid. But number two is you should not accept any remuneration for jury service, because that would be like getting paid twice. You get paid for your jury service. So I hope that makes people more inclined to do it, because it's a very important civic duty, and I feel that way very strongly. Please put your bereavement in. The very last thing that I'll talk to you about real quickly is workers' comp. Workers' comp, if you're injured at work, and I hope you never are, but if you are, please, please, please complete the form. Go through occupational health. Before returning to work, you have to bring your return to work and hopefully no restrictions, but your return to work and your restrictions. You have to see Dr. Joe. Dr. Joe will then sign you back into work. That's for everybody who has a compensation injury, no matter how long or short of a period of time that you are off work. Now, I've said a lot, and I could say more, but I won't. What I want to do is I'd like everybody to please write down my phone number and my email address, because I promise you that if you email me or call me, I or one of our staff members in the Human Resources Office will get back to you and give you the answers to all of your questions. So my telephone number, 716-286-1260. And my email, of course, you know, is msparrow@nsschools.net. And I promise you, if you have a question, we will do our best to answer it very quickly for you. Thank you.
Good information. I think I will punctuate a little bit and then we'll wrap it up. My email address is mmassaro. If you have any questions, please call her. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I appreciate what Maria said because she speaks to customer service. We are human, and we're in a human industry and business, and we need to remember that we are public servants, and we have to give the best customer service we possibly can for our community. I've said it before. The school district, from the way our buildings look and appear, to the teaching staff, to the non-instructional staff, are the best thing our 7,000 kids have. And I just want you to take that seriously, professionally, and with a lot of pride. We are all here to help, support. The only time I would ever criticize you is if you don't ask a question. Ask a question, you'll get about a 24-hour turnaround from any of us. It may not be a long diatribe of words or information, but it will be hopefully a clear answer or an I don't know, I have to look into. So we pride ourselves on doing that. Maria mentioned about being personally safe with workers' comp. If you are injured, again, please report that. Please be observant in all of your duties with students. Please be observant in all of the times that you're around schools. I'm on a mission to remind everybody we don't put books or rocks or bags indoors. If you see something that looks untoward, take personal responsibility to fix it and report that to your administrator immediately. That safety is our collective responsibility. Finally, we're here for learning. Everything we do, all of this work, from technology to curriculum to assessment to workers' comp to everything that we talked about, is to run a multifaceted organization that has many moving parts, but it's all about student learning and student achievement. And it doesn't matter what your role is, you play a part in that. From the cook to the cleaner to the teacher to the administrator to the technology, across the board, you all play a part in that. So I want to say thank you. Appreciate all of your work. Those that go above and beyond each and every day, all of our staff, we appreciate you. We will do this, as I said, either quarterly or 3 times, or maybe around right after we come back from the Christmas holidays. Blink your eyes and we'll be there. Believe me, blink your eyes and we will be in 2024. And then blink your eyes again, it'll be May. That's how fast time seems to go. So I just want everyone to stay safe, stay healthy. Unfortunately, we've had a lot of our staff family lose members. We just have to remember that the culture we're trying to get to is to always be caring and supportive of one another and our students. So I say thank you. We finished a little bit early tonight, which is okay. I think we're going to change this, Jean. What we're going to do is we're going to send a follow-up to everybody 45 minutes after this webinar is over.
Well, I'll do my best. It might be an hour, though.
Well, Gene, let's settle at 50 minutes, and we'll go from there. So, thanks to all those that joined. Appreciate really a nice welcome. I see so many new names on here, which is really, 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 really great to see. We appreciate you, and we're glad you're with us and glad you're part of this team. So. Anything that anybody wants to know, Gene or Roger, from you? Anything you want to mention? Anything important happening?
Just wishing everybody a great school year.
Yeah, I think this will be, as I've told everybody that I walk into, this is my 40th year. Wow. Again, starting as a 7-year-old with my employment papers here. It was tough in the early years. It was tough to be 7, 8 years old starting as an employee, but it's the last 40 have been really great. Again, I look forward to coming around to our schools every day. I've made it a personal mission that I will visit at least one school a day. So I'm 8 for 8. I'm going to do it tomorrow. I think I'm going to get to GJ Mann is my goal tomorrow for my second second visit there. That's my goal, to check on Mr. Baldessari and see how he's doing at GJ Mann tomorrow. That's my hope. So I'm sure he'll be wide awake waiting for me at the door. All right. Oh, I see Ms. Buckman's on, so it's time for a pop culture. I'm not watching anything on Netflix right now. Currently, yeah, not too much going on. Just finished a good baseball book about the Houston Astros cheating scandal in baseball in the 2013 through 2019. That was the last book I finished yesterday. So not too much with pop culture, even though I did see Pink this summer. She didn't see me. I saw her. It was great. Had a great time. Roger and Gene, thank you guys.
Well, thank you. And we're just glad to be here, I think.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Glad to be
Very
anywhere.
low bar.
It's
Very low bar.
it's been a long time, and it's been a very enjoyable time.
Yeah, well, yeah, I can just hear it in your voice. Next time we come on, we will have pictures of all of the guests that are in the room. We will go with pictures.
Okay,
I think I have one of each member there that will be here. They probably will not show up. No. I love when we start this part of the webinar and you can see the attendees just go from like 129 to 104 to 82 to like just 6. You know, that's the best part of it. Like, new people are hanging on. Like, is he going to say something else? No, this is just idle banter and chit chat. All right.
Yeah, well, you know what we've missed though? We've
Credits.
one.
Maria says it's like watching the credits. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something could come out after the movie's over. You know, you ever do that? You know, like like a bad Bill Kennedy movie. You know, you see who the key grip
Right.
was.
Always watch the outtakes.
Yeah, the outtakes, right? The outtakes. The outtakes. You know, Ray dropping the smartboard, Rick fumbling a curriculum document, Maria not finding front line. There's all those outtakes that we could have here. You know. Okay. See, these people are listening.
Okay.
You heard that. All right. Anything else?
We're good.
We're good. We're good.
All right. Time to go.
Okay. Well, good night, everybody then.
All right, thanks. Okay. Thank you guys for staying. I appreciate it. Let's go.
Okay. Good night.
Good night. Tomorrow's another day.